Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stiggity Stacks in this thing, baby, representing TKOG. And, oh snap, I forgot to, press that. There we go. So, yeah, you guys, I'm gonna do a little tournament report before I show you guys this super fire list. I went to locals actually twice this time. Normally, I go either once or, like, not at all. Just really haven't been able to go like I used to, but trying to get back into it. I already uploaded my Dragon Maid deck profile. That was the first deck that I took to locals, and then I woke up kind of late at night, and I just had so many ideas, and I just decided to incorporate all the ideas I had into one deck. So I was just like, what if I like summon Chaos Ruler and, you know, like sent some Eldlich cards, added some Dogmatica cards, and in the process, you know, like had boss stage, had like ROKKET cards to be enablers and extenders, give me some gas. Like I was like, what if I like just end on like Seal and Savage and Tidying and Schism with boss stage? Like that's like, I don't know what decks can really break that, you know, that's a really cracked field. And I just started testing it more, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this to locals. Went undefeated with this 60 card GOO. It is a Generator, Dogmatica, ROKKET, Eldlich. I don't know what to call it. It's just all of those. Like it's just like a compilation of engines, and everything is very synergistic. It works extremely well. It's actually really powerful. None of my boards got broken. It's just insane. Honestly, like very insane deck. Very fun, very explosive, and it's homebrew GOO. So I would like to say, if you guys haven't done so already and you would like to, please subscribe to my channel. Leave a like to the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Let me know in the comment section below. Just your feedback on the overall performance of my channel, you know, as far as the content goes. You know, if it's stuff that you actually enjoy seeing, and let me know what you would like to see. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's get into the list. Gonna separate these cards. There we go. So I've got like these defensive cards down here. I've got like all the enablers. Like the enablers is this huge pile. This deck's so consistent, it's preposterous. It's very strong, you guys. These are the packs that I got because I went first place. I got first place, went undefeated with this. Then I got first place and went undefeated with my Dragon Maids. And this deck was honestly a blast. It was a blast to play. I played against Infernobles, Heroes, Mystic Mind deck, and then I played against Earth Machine, which was a really Earth Machine's so cool. I might try the deck out. It looked really fun. So let's go ahead and get started. So for our enablers, we're rocking 3 copies of Chaos Space. This is just a superior starter. The beauty with cards like these is if they draw, it's really good. Like you want cards that draw, that are not Prosperity, that are not Extrav, and that are not Desires. You don't want to banish from your deck. You don't want to restrict yourself from being able to draw again. So the draw power I play in this deck is actually in the form of starters already. Cards like Noctovision being an extender and Chaos Space. These cards allow you to like allocate resources and then give you additional draws to see your engine. So there are even combos like where I'm going off and I'll literally Chaos Space to draw a boss stage, and I'll Noctovision and literally sack a Nadir Servant. So then my board gets 2 extra disruptions added to it just because I drew into them in the combo sequence. Chaos Space is really strong in this deck. When it resolves, it can potentially hit, because you could summon Chaos Ruler with this combo, it could potentially hit your Dogmatica and your Eldlich engine. That's probably like the best feeling when you send a couple of Eldlich cards and mill an Absolrouter and add an Ecclesia to your hand. It's just bonkers. Next up, we have 3 copies of Quick Launch. We have 3 Nadir. Like these are just like, there's so many starters in this deck. It's just really powerful. Even a handful of starters with no extenders gets you so far. We play the 3 boss stage. Oh, some of my spit just flew out my mouth. And then we also play 3 Curse Elden. I'm gonna talk about them. I'm just gonna lay them out first. We play the Optimus Prime, the Ravine. We're also rocking 3 Ecclesias, and we're playing 3 copies of Chamber. We're also playing 3 copies of ROKKET Tracer. So that's going to be about it for the starters. It's a 60 card deck. If it was 40, I'd probably still be playing a ton of starters. That's just like my philosophy, so to speak, when deck building is, if you play enough starters, your A, you're never gonna brick, and your B, when you play like starters like these, you force hand traps automatically. You force negates, you force hand traps. You kind of force the game state to shift immediately just by activating a card. And I like that a lot, that cardboard gets flipped every time I put one of mine onto the like my mat. I just activate something. Cardboard immediately gets flipped, and I like those 1-for-1 trades with a deck that's so nitty gritty like this one, where your resources and follow-ups come from your grave, and the recursion off the Eldlich cards, and the follow-ups off the dragon cards, the seal, the tiding, the boss stage, just all the goodness, just the floating that this deck has is just so good. So in the terms of superior starters, Chaos Space, Quick Launch, and Terraforming, Ravine, and Tracer, I feel are like the highest ceiling starters, because they allow you to see every engine in your deck that's not the generators. That's why Terraforming is super important, because boss stage is a key, like, kind of like focus of this deck, because I've had the generator cards and I've been wanting to play them for so long, and I feel like generator is just not good enough by itself as a pure deck, in my opinion, because it's so reliant on the field spell that your biggest strength becomes your biggest weakness. But when it's just like a cherry on top of an already insane field, that's where generator boss stage just becomes nuts. Like, people just didn't even know what I was playing. Like, to this day, they just didn't even understand. They didn't know what to hand trap. Heck, people were citing stuff that didn't even really work against 3/4 of my deck. It was just to counter one part of it. You really love it when people do stuff like that. So the Tracer, the Quick Launch, the Space, and the Terraforming, the Ravine. The reason why those are like the best starters, because like one of the key focuses in this deck is to resolve the Chaos Ruler. So this card, this is probably the best deck outside of Lightsworns for Chaos Ruler. Like, even in the Dragon Link deck, you can't get that many powerful meals, because I play powerful light targets like Ecclesia, I play the Eldritch cards. You know, I just have so much more potential for this to be a +2 to 3, as opposed to just like adding a chamber, or maybe adding like a Levianeer. You know, like, this card is just so good in this deck. It's actually purely a starter. It mills 5, and that's really, really good for you. There's so many cards that you want in your graveyard with this deck. I mean, heck, I've even summoned the Chaos Ruler where I had Striker and Chaos Ruler. I was going to make a seal after, and then I ended up hitting one of the baby Chaos Dragons, used the Striker to actually add Tracer back, and then made a Borload Savage just off of resolving Chaos Ruler. Still got Eldritch cards engraved. It's just really, really powerful. So I would say like Tracer should be up here, right? Like Tracer, Space, Quick Launch, Terraforming, Ravine. Like, these let you. These are starters that not only let you extend, set up negates, push, make Boar Swords, set up seal and tiding and stuff like that, but these cards enable like almost the entirety of your deck outside of boss stage itself. So these just have the highest ceiling and the potential to see anything you haven't already drawn, including hitting cards like Chaos Space and Noctovision, so that you can draw and dig deeper to get more of your engine and your combo pieces. So these are just insane. Chaos Space is just so nutty in this deck. I don't play it in my Dragon Maids. I don't really like it in my Dragon Maids. I feel I don't play a good enough balance of lights and darks for it to be good, but in this deck, it's lovely. Boss stage, this card is just insane, you guys. There's just like no real way to play around it. You have to draw for turn, and it's so good. It's even going second, when you crack a board slap this, when your opponent's in recovery phase, it just makes it so hard. Har is such a good card, you guys. The card literally just, it's an Omni Negate. It makes your opponent sing cards from their hand or field to the grave. You've got Utgartha. He's just literally just a quick effect, banish a card on the field. Very, very strong card. Boss stage is very, very strong, you guys. Next up, we could talk a little bit about these. So Chamber is like the honorary normal summon, because like the only normal summon you would really have is like Ecclesia. Because ideally, the concept with the Rockets is you don't really want to normal summon them. You'd rather just normal summon a dragon, right? That's the way you can get more value out of your Tracer. Instead of normal summoning Tracer, you just want to special summon it off of Boo. So I felt like, what better dragon normal summon than Chamber? Because this gets me a hard disruption that even if I get drolled, I have a tiding in my hand now. That's a disruption and a follow-up. It was safer than safer. Ironically, like, did that sound like a play on words? But this is a safer card than safer. Do hand traps, because you can actually extend better. If your safer gets ashed, you might be able to play them into a gamma, but like this card getting ashed or imperm is not as bad, because it's a body that didn't get traded with the hand trap. So I just feel like Chamber is just amazing. It worked out great. So like, this is just another enabler, and when you draw this in a Rocket, it's pretty bonkers. Like, this is a great card. Now, the Dogmatic and the Eldlich portion of this deck, amazing, you guys. This right here, this could be a whole 40 card deck by itself, just Dogmatic and Eldlich. The synergy is just pure gold. One thing, Op Cologne is so insane in this deck because you have so many good discards. You just cursed, add a golden land, Op Cologne, discard it, and then banish that on your end phase. Get yourself an Elixir, get your Golden Lord onto the field. You could discard cards like Router. I mean, dude, like, Op Cologne just has, like, no drawbacks in this deck. Like, there's just so many good cards you can discard. It's amazing. Other cool combos, like, Ravine. Like, when you have Eldland and you pitch Ravine, you can even go Eldland, add Golden Lord, and then Ravine off the Romulus combo, Ravine, pitch Golden Lord. Then you use Golden Lord to send the Cursed Eldland for cost. And that's an extender that lets you go into IP Masquerena on top of your inboard, and you'll still get your Eldritch cards online. It's just crazy, you guys. Very, very, very powerful. Like, the way everything flows so perfectly, the synergy, it's incredible. Like, Winda is just crazy by herself, but Winda, like, next to literally 7 disruptions, I'm not even kidding. It's gonna be 2 bounces, 2 pops, and then 2 negates and a shuffle. I'm sorry, 3 negates and a shuffle. So that's 3, 5, 7. I'm sorry, that's 8 disruptions. You can actually get Winda with 8 disruptions on your board. So you get 9 disruptions. You guys, you can just see it. You don't have to take my word. I have gameplay footage with the deck. And the remainder of, like, the Rocket engine, that's, like, not so good to draw, but if you draw them plus a dragon, you can at least make Seal, you know, or Rom. We have 2 Recharger and 1 Synchron. I personally think that Recharger is better at 2 than Synchron. This card comes up a lot more than this card does. This card really only comes up to make the ruler into a negate, and sometimes, like, your follow-ups, you can just normal summon it and bring out an Router and make yourself a Savage, and then get access to another Tracer just for more follow-up plays. And then more enablers are going to be Noctovision, Bread and Butter. Router is also very gross in this deck. Like, Router off of your Ravine. Router just being like a superior extender. Router off Chaos Space is pretty daggone insane, you guys. Router Chaos Space is nuts. It's a really good tool. I really wanted to play 3 of it. But I felt, hey, you know, it's not going to hurt to play 2. If I play 3, it might hurt more because it could lead to brick hands. But this card is crazy in this deck, honestly. Like, Router and Nocto, just super duper phenomenal cards. And then 1 of each of the baby dragons. I might play Levy. I thought about Levy in here. I have 1. But I felt like, dude, I play like 5 high-level break monsters that I don't want to draw. I didn't want to have a 6th because I want the deck to have the ceiling that it would, like, the better combo decks would have without playing, you know, the risks, you know, of so many bricks. So that's going to, like, include, like, all of your, like, engine cards, like your enablers. Like, you draw anything that's not Boot Sector Launch, and this huge pile of cards, anything that's not Boot Sector Launch could get you somewhere. Boot Sector Launch is just, like, it'll get you somewhere. It's just better to search it, obviously. This is, like, a weak starter, but it still gets you access to your Eldritch engine. I play a weird ratio of 2 Elixir, 2 Conch, and 2 Alcaro. And then I played the 1 Golden Lord. Very, very small Eldritch engine. I didn't want it to overshadow everything else about the deck. This was just something else that my opponent would have to play around. It inherently gave me outs to cards like Mystic Mine. It gave me a better ceiling through Dark Ruler and Droplets. Basically, like, this deck sets 5 back rows and will have 5 monsters. You'll have Seals, you'll have IP Masquerena, you'll have Hot Red, you'll have Savage, and then you'll summon Horror and you'll generate a token. You'll have a full field on both ends. So if you, like, get Dark Rulered, they still have to play through all 5 of your back rows. They have to play through the Conquistador, the Tiding, the Punishment, the Schism. It's just really, really strong as a deck. It's so obnoxious. Like, nobody beat me with this deck, and that was just a text run. This deck's just really, really cool. So that's, like, the Eldritch portion. Very, very small, but I like it. You have a pretty high chance of sacking anything off of Chaos Ruler that's going to be an enabler. Heck, I mean, I've gotten pretty lucky hitting Eldritch cards with a Tiding and a Dragon Mage, Chamber Dragon Mage. There's so many possibilities. Like, Chaos Ruler can be like a +3, sometimes +4. It just depends how fortunate you are on your sacks. In, like, a realistic scenario, if you hit Eldritch cards, Tiding, Chamber, and an Ecclesia, that's probably the best meal that you'll get out of that card. It's just broken. I just played the one punishment and the one schism to kind of just round up the traps. Like, these are not ideal to draw, especially not schism, but schism can be recurred from your grave if you ever mill it. Punishment can be recycled off Omega. We do play Omega so that the Dogmatica cards would help me to recycle these, so that I would never run out of boss stage targets. So I wanted to have like the high ceiling, like I said, without the bricks. So I didn't want to clog my deck with a crap ton of boss stage targets. So I figured each one of these suit different situations. Sometimes a banish is better than a negate. So I just like to have them, and I honestly could have played just too hard, but the idea and the concept behind it is like, you have Omega with your Dogmatica cards, so whenever you need these back, you use Omega to return them to your main deck and you summon them off boss stage again. And in theory, like, you could like loop Omega to keep recycling these, but the game just doesn't prolong that long. And then we have the Fleur de Lis. This is just for more pressure off your Dogmatica cards and to deal with Dragoon, etc. So like these plus the Golden Lord, these are like the high levels that I was talking about that I really don't want to draw. So if I had the, what was the card that I was gonna play that? Oh yeah, the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. That'd give me 5 like technically bricks that I just really don't want to draw. I already play shit all schisms, so that's like 6 bricks. Like, and I'm playing Gamma and Driver, so really I have like 5 high levels already that I don't want to draw. Gamma's insane in this deck. If you get Ashed or Drolled, you just Gamma your opponent. Ash on Chaos Base, Gamma. Droll on any of your searchers that's basically not Chamber, you're just going to Gamma your opponent. Gamma into a Chaos Ruler is insane in this deck. If you have a hand that can already make Ruler into the Savage, I'll just Gamma into the Omega, rip another card. It's just insane. If you like get the Gamma into the Omega and then they like still hand trap you again and you have talents, you don't even have to set up a big board. You already ripped 3 cards out their hand. Just put 2 interruptions and pass. Like, don't even play into the nib if they could even potentially have it, even though that would diminish their chances of winning even further because they're just so low on resources before they start their turn. And then we have 3 Droplet and 2 talents for the defensive cards. Deck's just really good with breaking boards. It's very well rounded. I didn't feel the need to play a lot of hand traps unless it was a Drytron deck. Other than that, like, every other deck makes a very, very fair board. This deck forces out Butler. It forces the Dragon Link board. It's really good against Tri-Brigade. It's really, really good. It's just a really good deck. Like, it's just no cap. The deck is just so bonkers. There's so much that's being thrown at your opponent that a lot of times they really have to contemplate on what they want to negate. So sometimes stuff just resolves when it shouldn't because they're scared of you having another play that they've seen in game 1. And since they kind of know how powerful things can be, a lot of people are scared of Chaos Ruler resolving because Chaos Ruler, if it resolves, it can turn into 3 disruptions by itself. So sometimes people will let things slide and hold that Ash or that Imperm for the Chaos Ruler, or even the Revolt play. Deck's just really good, like I said. Extra deck, we have 2 Seals, 1 Rom, Striker and a Pisty. This just didn't really come up, but I had it just in case to have another target. If I couldn't like space to recycle the Striker. I play a healthy amount of Dragon cards. You could say this is just Dragon Link with other cards, but it's really not. It's literally a classic 3 stacks move. Just cram as many engines as you possibly can into a deck, make them synergize and flow well, make it a 60 card deck, see how it works. And these decks right here, like, these are the scary decks. Like, when I come to locals with these kind of decks, like when I go to tournaments with these kind of decks, these are the decks that people just do not want me to win the dice roll because they just feel like something crazy is going to happen. And that's just the reality of 60 card decks. They have this kind of like wild card kind of up here, you know, or a lore. Like, people just really don't know what to expect, but they never ever, like, they never underestimate a 60 card deck. I'll say that, even though people talk bad about them. We have IP into the Unicorn, and just another play you can make if you locked yourself into darks before you get in on Seal. You know, IP can be a disruption that would take the place of Seal. It just wouldn't give you the same follow-up. And then Borosword for pushing for game. I think I only summoned it once. It was just, you just had so many big beat sticks between the generators, the Golden Lord, the Dogmatica cards, all the stuff you summon off your rockets, just the follow-ups. Just, you didn't really need it. But then we have Omega, the Chaos Ruler. This card's cracked in this deck. This is one of the best plays. You can make Savage before you make this. If you go into Quick Launch and you have another extender, so like let's say you have Quick Launch plus, like if you have Chaos Base, Astrorudder, and Quick Launch, You can literally just go the space into the router, pitch, you know, add something, boom. You're basically just gonna summon Savage on your third summon. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you summon Savage on your fourth summon, so that plays around Nib, and then you do the Chaos Roller after. And the way you play is because you don't resolve Tracer, you could still make the seal. So sometimes I'll make this first, but it depends on my hand. Like, if I have Nadir Servant and Chris Eldon already in my hand, I feel like this card doesn't really have the same value because I would be hitting engines I already have. If I like Rocket cards, the Dogmatica, basically if I drew all my engines, you can't get access to boss stage off of Ruler, so then this card does not have as much value. I'd still summon it no matter what, because it can lead into a multitude of follow-ups and also force a hand trap, but then it doesn't become like a center focus, so then you can summon this first and then make Savage later. But the point is, like, the deck can make Savage before you even can get nibbed, and protect this card if you need to resolve. And then we have the Hot Red. We have a very, very small Shaddoll package. Literally just one Aqualone and one Winda. And it's just beautiful. This is all you need. You just Nadir dump this, add Schism. You discard any of your crazy cards in your hand that just plus so much when they're discarded. Like Nadir with the Eldlich cards insane. Nadir, Router. Nadir is just so good in this deck because you just have so much free follow-up, so much free fodder. Shoot, I mean, Nadir just is crazy in this deck. You just discard anything. You always have excess resources. You always have the darks. You don't even have to play Maximus, which is an extra brick. You just Nadir for Aqualone, and you already have darks in your grave, and just Winda. It's just an extra emphasis. If they even thought they could break your board, you just have Winda and boss stage. And then the Elder, just for extra disruptions under the punishment. I'm going to open my packs after I check. Okay, 21 minutes in. I'm trying to manage my time better for the viewers. I don't want people to have to sit through too long of a video, just heeding advice that you guys are giving me. So let's see what we got in these packs. I think we got about like 13 or 14 packs. Dang, Dino Wrestlers are still getting support. Dice card, special summon this card. Special summon. Dang, that's actually a good card. Is this generic for dinosaurs? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Wow, Dino Wrestlers. Okay. Ooh, a branded opening. Oh, this card's good. This card's good off of Ready Fusion. Dang. Those are some good supers. I'm really looking forward to Burst of Destiny, I think it's called. That card would be good in my prediction princesses. That card would be really good in there. Some Sue Ship stuff. Okay. Beat Trooper Link 2. Not bad. Give me some prismatics and some secrets, please. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Okay, so we got Magikkeys. Oh, that's their negator. The Magikkeys. Oh man, there's so many decks. I can't. It seems like there's just not enough time to just play all the decks. I want to play so many decks, and they're just not meta. That's something else I got to start doing. I need to start making 60-card meta decks, not because I like them, but just because people like them. I'm still gonna play the decks that I like, but I need to start making, I said 60 card, I need to start making 40 card, exactly 40 card meta decks, because that'll get me more views. And at the end of the day, views do help the algorithm, and that'll honestly help me to make some extra bread too, so. I'm still going to do what I do though. Ooh, Dramaturge. Got an Ultra. But yeah, I do need to start making some 40 card meta decks. I'm so addicted to Rogue. Rogue decks are like crack to me. You guys should know this about me. But I do got to get myself to start playing meta because I do need to study the upcoming format. Oh, you know what? Even though that might have been a bad secret, I actually wanted that card for my Zephrys, so I'm not complaining. So I got a secret and an Ultra. I'm plussing. Well, that wasn't bad. I mean, the entry's only $5, so I feel like I already got my money back just out of these packs. That actually was not bad. This card is all 0 scales too, so I feel like it's a really good like anti-meta tech card for my Zephrys. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys. I keep changing my Zephyr list. It's always going to change. It's never going to stop changing. But yeah, oh. Knights and Administrator. What? Target card, blah, 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 banish it. Target one, special. Oh, it just does like what the level 2 guy did. I remember I used to play Knights and Sorcerer inside of Dark Magicians. Because you would go Navigation, summon Dark Magician, summon Knight's End, and you would banish the Blue Stone of Ancients and some Blue Eyes monsters from the grave in the Blue Eyes matchup. I used to actually play my Dark Magician against Blue Eyes. I remember that. Good times. But yeah, you guys, that is going to round up the video. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. I will have some 40-card meta decks for you guys, I promise. Coming up, they will be on the laptop, though. But peace out, y'all, and stay safe.